Okay, hello, Julia. Thank you so much for joining me. We are after the holiday break, and it is 2026 right now. We had to complete the quite a hefty migration of before the end of year. I suppose we completed it successfully. I'm happy we could do so for you, and I'm curious how your experience was like, and overall. How do you like the application? But first of all, if you could introduce yourself, your position at the company, and overall what you do, what do you like? Uh,
Yeah.
what's the weather?
Yeah, yeah. All the things. Awesome. Yep. I'm Julia and I am a product manager at a software company in the employee experience space. So for this use case, we were transitioning between development providers and we had a very short window to do so, as you know. All of our Jira tickets and all of our history of our Jira tickets for all things development lived on a Jira instance that was owned by our previous development provider. So when we were switching our development provider, we needed to migrate all of our tickets into a new Jira instance and a new Jira product board. But what was most important to us was maintaining, the integrity of the tickets, the custom fields that we had, the ticket history, any comments, all the descriptions, including all the formatting and all that good stuff. So making sure that the tickets were gonna transfer over and look the same as they did before. That was super important to us. It's kind of like the background of where we
hmm
began. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean the biggest issue was the time frame. I think you
Yes.
texted us, emailed us just before Christmas. We somehow managed to make it happen. I don't think we met the deadline of end of year. We did it at the following week after. But yeah, it was, I think, the specific case when it comes to this migration, it was Jira-Jira. So it's pretty much, it should be straightforward, but I think it's the first time we moved over the history of tickets. So I'm happy we could do that. I'm curious, I mean, you've already covered the use case of the integration, but I guess the most we can talk about is how was your overall experience with the tool, setting it up, and
Yeah.
overall what's the feeling of it? Because when you think of migrations, I actually don't know what you think of migrations when you first think of the topic. So uh,
Yeah.
what was yeah.
Yeah. Well, with migration, when we kind of realized, okay, we have this like really short timeline to get all of our Jira tickets from one instance to another, I had to do a lot of research. And so before we even found you guys and how we were going to migrate, we were asking our development team, what migration options were possible. We were looking online, doing all the Googling. And really all we found was that you could either export all of your Jira issues
Yeah,
into
like
just an
CS file
Excel
import.
file.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, where you're going to lose everything. And so that just was not just not the right option for us. And then there are some third party tools out there like you guys. And finding you guys was awesome because it just seemed like it was the most user friendly. You guys had a lot of documentation. You were quick to respond, which was awesome. And I did look at a few other tools, I think, but nothing, some were just very much similar into almost an Excel import would be.
hmm
So I feel like you guys are different in a way of like making it very user friendly. So that was like the whole kind of like pre-process and then deciding, okay, we're doing this migration. It's called a migration, and we're going to move over our tickets that way. And then, so I think once we got into the platform itself to set up the migration, because I wasn't the admin or the owner of our previous Jira instance, there was a lot that I didn't know about how Jira is managed. So that was a learning curve for me in and of itself of trying to
hmm
figure out, okay, I'm setting up this new instance and there's just so many different configurations that you can make and there's different project levels and making sure that you have the fields and everything correctly set up to
Yeah.
accept um, the migration. That was a big learning curve for me. Um,
I mean, there is a lot
and
more to Jira than meets the eye. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
For better or worse, but
There is, yes, exactly. I know you helped me a lot through it. So
Mhm.
and I don't think that I initially realized we were leveraging, I haven't worked with APIs a ton. And so I didn't really realize, okay, we're leveraging a create API, which is like the create frame of Jira. So once that you guys kind of taught me that, then
Mhm.
it made a little more sense of, okay, I just need to have everything tailored specifically to what I'm trying to move over from the previous Jira instance into this new
Yep.
one. So that was a learning curve too. But I mean, the process of working with you guys was awesome, as you know, for me.
Thank you.
Your
Yeah.
support, especially around the holidays when you were supposed to be out, much appreciated. But yeah, I think, I had a few bumps in the road with my learning curve and getting up to speed. Um, and yeah, I know we have a huge time zone difference between us. So I'm
Yeah, that
in
was
Mountain Time and you're in Central
yeah. On New Year's,
European.
I remember we already had guests over, and I'm sitting at the computer responding on the ticket
Yes.
and just begging Meira to come in on the to help out because I'm like, okay, but I already have a beer open. I have to go.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, we were 8 hours apart in time
Yeah.
zones, and even then you gave me so much help. But even when it was like your nighttime sleeping, I feel like you guys had great documentation, knowledge base
Hmm.
was helpful, all of your YouTube videos. So those and the like walkthroughs on your in your knowledge base was so helpful. But that was kind of like the overall experience and um, use case of getting it over. What other things?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's pretty wraps it up because migrations are like one-time projects. This time, specifically Jira. Yeah, the biggest issue was the configuration because first of all, you didn't have much access of on the original Jira, and then we had to figure out how to get the data from that source, and then how to configure because you had to configure everything from scratch on the destination, and pretty much that was the biggest issue. Uh, which is
Yeah,
also something I often, when I try to do something in Jira, I get roadblocks on every steps. So that's just how life is.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm happy
yeah,
that we could complete it in a reasonable time period.
definitely. Yeah.
It was
It
a
was
pleasure.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was a cool to see the system work. Like once everything was actually, after I had done some test runs and getting everything over, it was like you just could see them kind of coming over and all the tickets
Hmm.
were created. And then time I opened them, it just looked like what they looked like in the previous one. So it was rewarding. Being able to keep all of the integrity in place on those tickets, something you really can't do. So, and you guys helped us do it so quick in such a rushed period of time. So really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll be wrapping up the recording now. Thank you for joining, and I wish you a very great 2026. I hope it's not as cold as we have it here because it's minus 12 Celsius. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Wow.
and actually the most snow we've had. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.